So today I'm going to give you a first impression of using the Shiller app. And if you're not familiar with it, Shiller is a live streaming video app or audio app with built-in Web3 functionality. This is something that is co-founded or cross-promoted by Snoop, and his face is all over this thing, so it is going to be pretty cool in my opinion. And what I did with this one is sort of a double episode in the sense that I'm recording the episode for the podcast, but it's also going to live on the Shiller page. Hello, I'm Taj, digitally known as Tropic Vibes, the host of Nifty Business, where we highlight NFTs and explore Web 3.0 as we move from pure speculation to creating real-world value. So everything is streaming right now, and everything looks pretty good. Everything looks clear. No issues whatsoever. The app is clean. So as far as why I'm excited about this whole Shiller opportunity, what's going on here with this app is pretty amazing in the sense that, okay, as you know, as a podcaster, this is something that I've been doing for the most part every single day for over a year. Then I started to do sporadically, sometimes 5 episodes per week, depending on how many stories I have, what's going on, and just the workload of everything that's happening. And I'm trying to cover things that is not just speculation and what have you. And just trying to sort through all of that, it does take a lot of time, and I've been releasing episodes. However, when it came to this Shiller app, it's sort of going to be a meta episode in the sense that I'm speaking about Shiller while streaming about it on Shiller, right? So it's sort of ironic or funny or whatever you want to say about it. But the thing that I'm really excited about whole Shiller experience is the fact that, number one, as a podcaster, it is extremely hard to have people find your show. Now, if you have a name such as the NFT Business Show, which I did not originally have, it makes it that much easier for people to find it in the search engines. Now, of course, if you've been following me, you know everything that I do is under the brand name of Nifty Business. I am the Nifty Guy. In everything that I have says that around it. However, when I initially launched the show, I did not have it branded as NFT Business Show. It was called Nifty Business. Because of that, it was not very discoverable. And even now, if I search NFTs and Apple Podcast, Spotify, and many other podcast apps, it doesn't necessarily come up towards the top. Now, if you specifically put NFT Business Show or if you put Nifty Business, then it's going to come up. So as far as just being discoverable, podcast is very hard. Unlike YouTube, the algorithm is not there. It's basically whatever your show name is, or you're specifically driving traffic directly to your show. So on Shiller, you're going to have discoverability. So you have that social aspect as to someone might just log into their app and they happen to see it on the homepage that I am live. So that is pretty cool. I don't have to necessarily drive the traffic as I do with the podcast. So it's kind of killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Why not record podcast with a video feed in Shiller where people can discover the show, come in, interact, and it's like a live guest audience where there's back and forth. So that is very cool. Now, the other thing that I find very cool with the platform itself, just the monetization options that you have. So with YouTube, of course, you know that you have to have 10,000 watch hours, 1,000 subscribers, or in the case of if you're doing shorts, I believe it's 10 million within 90 days, some crazy number like that. And if you don't hit those numbers, you're not going to get the ad revenue share from the ad share that they have. So that option is not there for people. But with the Shiller, you're able to monetize on day one. If you have NFTs, you can sell, you can promote, you can say whatever it is that you're trying to use to monetize yourself right here, whether it's join the email list, buy the merchandise, you name it. There's many options on day one, right out the box. The platform is built for that. The name Shiller is something that we're very common with within the whole Web3 ecosystem, NFT ecosystem, promoting, selling, and so forth. Now, the name, the brand, I absolutely love it. I've spoke about it, I think, on the last episode when I was just doing my sound check, that it is something that within the Web3 ecosystem that we know that it means sell. Outside of it, you'll have those negative connotations. People might say, oh, this has something to do with snake oil salesman, and that's where that word shill comes from. But outside of that, we don't really use the word shill. But within the Web3 ecosystem, we know what shill means. You go into a Twitter space and says, you know what, this is a shill space. Or feel free to shill your project, whatever it might be. Or the other side is, no, this is just a community meeting. There's no shilling here. So we know what that means. So Shiller, I think, is a great name. The branding, the people are going to be there. The audience for Web3 is going to be on this platform. I think that's awesome. You don't have to educate people on Shiller what Web3 is. they're already here because they understand the value of Web3. So that is a cool thing that I find. So for example, on Discord, right? We know that the two hubs for the NFT community is on Twitter and on Discord. Well, in this case right here, you don't have to do any kind of education whatsoever. There is no mix because not everybody on Twitter is there for Web3, NFT, cryptocurrencies, and all that stuff. So crypto Twitter and NFT Twitter are just sub-segments of the hundreds of millions of people that are actually on the platform. Now on Schiller, you know, everybody that is here understands Web3, understands NFTs, and that is, I think, very cool. Of course, this is not the mass appeal, hundreds of millions or billions of people on this app yet. However, those of us that are here early do have the opportunity to build, have our shows discovered, practice our voice before the masses come. So I think it's pretty awesome. So discoverability, having the ability to monetize, and also just being an alternative to Discord. I said the hubs, Twitter and Discord. If you've been listening to me, you know anything about how I stand. And if you're the majority of people within the NFT community, Discord is not your favorite place to be. Now, the cool thing about Discord is that you're allowed to token gate and you have all sorts of cool features, which you can also do on this platform. So unlike a Twitter space or a YouTube video or even a Zoom call, there are certain ways to token gate it, but for the most part, if you share out the link or the password, people can get in. However, using NFTs and this Web3 ecosystem that's already built, you don't have to be a coder. You don't have to build your own platform or have your own dApp or use some sort of jerry rigging to put things together. No, you just log right in, press a couple buttons, you're good to go. You can token gate your stream if you want to, and I think that's awesome. So as far as like a show like this, of course, this is a podcast, usually not live recorded and so forth. These are things that I normally do offline, or in the case of a guest, I'll use StreamYard and then I'll cut that, I'll download it, do the edits, whatever, condense it, put that final version up. And that's completely different than what we're having right here, where this is a live experience. This is live recording right here. So this is something that could be token gated. So let's say the true supporters of the show, the people that have been there from day one, want to give their input. They could ask questions. If I have a guest, they can just pop on here and say what they have to say. I think that's very cool to be able to token gate that to the most active and thriving members of the community or whatever it might be. So that is very cool right there. No tech needed. It is built for that from the ground up. And that's awesome. Ready to go out of the box. Now, the next thing that I think is pretty awesome is the ability to have the replays, because a lot of the times when you have replays and such as Twitter recordings, unless you're a podcaster such as myself, you're probably not going to go to that replay. It's just something that most people don't do. They don't go to the replay, have that checked out, and rewind. And basically, if you weren't there live, you missed it. It's over. No one's going to go back to it. However, with this, I think is very cool in the sense that you have your profile, your information is up there, and the main feature of this platform is that audio or video content. So it's like going to a YouTube channel, right? You discover something that is live or something that is trending, the latest video, and then you're interested in what that person has to say. Well, guess what you do? You go over to their profile or their channel and you check it out. You see exactly what their other content's about, see if you vibe with that person, and either you subscribe, you like it, you comment, you do whatever it is that you do. And that is just one of the cool things that you can do with this. So you have that platform, you have the profile, everything is set up, ready to go with a Web3 audience. And I think it's just awesome. It is really a interesting tool set for creators within the Web3 ecosystem. And I'm excited to see how this platform grows, where we go from there, and how we can actually get various people onto the platform and how we're going to really build communities. Now, if you're anyone that has ever been on a platform early, such as Clubhouse or those early people on Twitter Spaces, which was the copy of Clubhouse, if you will, or any platform, if you hopped on TikTok early, if you hopped on Vine, if you remember Vine, meaning the original short form content before Instagram Reels and all those other platforms came up and copied it, that was the original short form. I think it was 15 seconds, if you will. So a lot of people were able to just gain massive audiences that did not have followings on any other platform before that because they were early. So I think it's just really cool to be here, to be one of the creators early on the platform. Of course, the masses are not here yet, but I truly believe with Snoop behind this thing, the name of it, the brand, the features that are being offered to creators, I think this is something that has a lot of potential. And I'm recording my podcast right now. Of course, as I said, this is sort of a meta episode. I'm speaking about Schiller while recording the live stream on Schiller. So, it is pretty cool. But with that said, I think this is just the tip of the iceberg. I think we're going to see some really amazing things going forward. So if there is anything that you would love to hear more about Schiller, any ideas or cool applications that you do see or have for Web3 and how content creators can use the blockchain and NFTs to either token gate their content or interact with their fans just in a better way, I would love to hear about it. Please feel free to reach out to me at Tropic Vibes on Twitter, Schiller, or by using the contact information in the show notes. But as usual, I want to thank you for taking time to listen to this as we are learning and building Web3 together. So until next time, later. Yeah, so that was the live podcast recording of the show. So the Nifty Business Arrow is not investment advice. It provides insights and information within the space. As with anything, please do your own research before making a decision whether you're making an investment or a purchase.